Very few.
A contrast in two personalities. I'd like to spend a few minutes this evening talking about two different types of people. Unfortunately, the last 2 days, I was by two funerals. On Monday, I'd like to dedicate the words of Torah to both their memory. 2 days ago, my grandma's father, his name was Rabbi Bernstein from Albany, had passed away. He was basically had a hand in any significant part of Judaism in Albany for the last 55 years. Whether it's in relation to kashrus, or the day school, or the synagogue. Certainly a person of worthy accomplishments. Today the Jewish people lost, it was actually yesterday, but today was the funeral of a very, very great Hasidic leader by the name of Rabbi Israel Portugal, who was really, many of you may here not know him, but it's worthwhile to note that he was he devoted his life to helping children who were not at all, in fact, very, very far from Hasidic background, and founded an organization in Israel called Chesed Abraham to help kids from disadvantaged homes have a place to live and grow. This is besides the work that he did after World War II in helping many children who had been orphaned after the war, him and his father, to have homes to raise them in a Jewish environment. Let's contrast that with something a student of mine recently told me, who was involved in real estate, which I think is pretty successful. And he told me that he gets to see different types of people in his line of business. And he notices that sometimes people who are so full of themselves, for lack of a better, so full of themselves, that the way he feels that they became successful is they just put down others. And say whatever they want and just have a good team around them and just put everyone else down. Two different personalities. How does that relate to this week's Torah portion? The Torah introduces us to the concept of saras, of leprosy. The commentators explain to us that it wasn't actually a physical sickness, a physical ailment. It was actually a spiritual, came from a spiritual disease, which manifested itself in the body. For someone who spoke, Lashon Hara, spoke ill about somebody else. What motivates a person to gossip about other people? It's interesting. There's a term in the English language, it's used, called character assassination. You can kill someone's character. You can kill someone's character. It's of no coincidence that the rabbis compare speaking gossip to murder. It's compared to what's one of the things it's compared to. Character assassination. You can kill someone's character. Where is it coming from? I'm not talking about some occasional comment that we make that we realize we made a mistake and occasional weakness, but someone who is, I don't call proficient, but consistently talks bad about others. Part of what motivates them, a motivation or the problem that person has, is a lack of self-confidence about who they are. The way they need to find an identity and to feel good about themselves is that someone else is no good. If we feel good and we're doing things that are good about ourselves, then there is no reason to put down someone else. I feel very good about myself and about what I'm doing. I don't have to identify myself or feel good about myself by putting someone else down. If I don't have a positive self-image of myself, then I have to feel part of it being human is feeling good about yourself. And the only way you can do that is by putting someone else down. So that's when we look at the contrast of these two different personalities, or what we're involved in. What are we busy with, and are we helping others? Are we involved in helping the community? So then you realize, not haughtiness, you realize what you're doing. You're excited about what you're doing, and therefore I don't need to have that, for me to have that positive self-image, putting down someone else is completely unnecessary. But on the other hand, if there is nothing to you, and there's a lot of hot air and the haughtiness, then the way you have to feel good about yourself is by putting someone else down. Now, well, thank God no one here in this audience has it, but it's important to realize the mechanics. And in the times of weakness that we do have, it's usually when maybe we have a little bit of, could be self-doubt, or we don't have that positive self-image. Now, when I say positive self-image, it doesn't mean that no one has faults. I'm not talking about that. But in general, I feel good about myself, and I'm happy with who I am. So I thought this was an important and timely message. We talk about Lashon Hara, which we're going to be reading about for the next 2 weeks, because it's very easy to fall into it. When we, make offhanded comments, and some of it is maybe to feel a bit better about ourselves. And the better we feel about ourselves, and secondarily, I wouldn't say secondary, but as importantly, when we realize the damage that words can do. The damage that words can do. You can kill someone, you kill someone's character. And it is not easily repairable. We may think it is, but it's not easily repairable. So when we realize the damage that we can do, that will lead us to be more careful about what we say, and what will come out of our mouth will only be positive and will reflect the positivity that we feel about ourselves, and that will reflect onto others and make others feel good about themselves.